Yo, what's up? What's up, Remy?
What's up? What's going on, Gee Dogg?
Not much, just hanging out. Hey, did I tell you what happened to me at the store today?
What happened?
Fine, little honey called me a silver fox.
Oh,
What's a silver fox?
because no beard.
It's the salt and pepper game.
Women love the beard.
So we were asking about the Rams off the air. We were asking about Rams.
Oh, okay. So I'm just wondering, besides Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, who you think can outshine those two as the best combination of wide receivers in the NFL?
Dog, you sound like a lefty gun player right now. You smoking some. My bad. Sorry, folks out there. A little too much weed. Anyways, you sound like a Raider fan, bro.
No.
You're delusional.
Well, this is kind of delusional right there.
I got the bling bling. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Stunning on me.
Yeah,
Good thing I have the ropes on.
Yeah, I know. You gotta...
Damn, how you blinding me, bro? Yeah, so, you want to talk about some news? News stuff
Cool.
going?
Yeah, we can talk about some news. What do you got?
How about, did you happen to catch Donald Trump's speech to Congress?
Oh, yeah. I saw him give his address. Yeah, Donald Trump gave a pretty good speech. I saw him give a nice speech and appoint a little 13-year-old boy who survived brain cancer as a Secret Service agent. And I thought, I don't know how legit that is, if that can stand or if that's just
an
kind of
honorary
independent.
thing.
Yeah, I think
You see a kid, cop gives him a sticker, deputizes him.
Yeah, I think so.
But I speaking to that kid, I seen on I think it was Instagram a video of him being harassed and made fun of because he's actually deputized as a sheriff.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Disheartening.
I think it was some just older kids too that were making fun of him or something like that. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, no one should be making fun of that kid. No one,
Unfortunately, it wasn't just kids making fun of him.
Yeah,
Democrats.
Yeah. That was unfortunate as well. I think in any case, when something is of that gravity, like you can't not stand and clap for that little boy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was he survived brain cancer. I mean, who survives brain cancer,
Right.
But this little 13-year-old boy,
it's crazy.
up to the odds, and
It's crazy.
I mean, he was
well
one
mannered.
thing, yeah.
He obviously looks like he comes from a good family.
Yeah, his dad was there,
and why wouldn't you stand up for that? That's sad.
I don't know. I mean, regardless, like I was saying, if it was Joe Biden doing that, it'd be the same thing. You'd have to stand up and clap for that little boy because it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. You're right.
So yeah.
Hey, and just on the topic, what do you think about all the protesting going on with Tesla and Elon Musk out in Huntington Beach and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think when you have, it's okay, perfectly okay for people to protest. Protesting should be great. Peacefully protesting, yeah. And I'll fight for anybody's right to speak freely and protest as much as you want. You can protest him and Donald Trump to if you want, but you can't be burning things down, destroying things, and setting things on fire. And I mean, I saw people were shooting too.
Really?
People were driving by. Yeah, it went through one of the windows. It went through an office door and hit a computer. Wow. So I read that earlier today, and I thought, it's just unfortunate that people have to do that. And I just think that we can't be in a place where if you get mad, you have to lash out like that, or you have to control your emotions.
Do you believe that it's mainly part of Elon's investigations in Doge?
Oh yeah, I think it has a lot to do with that. I think Elon Musk. I think if he was gonna spy on everybody's information and steal everybody's information, when he owned PayPal, he probably would have done it at that point. I don't think the richest man in the world, I have to worry about him looking at my social security number and charging something on Amazon. So.
Yeah, like I find it crazy how, especially Democrats on the higher level, senators, congressmen, stuff like that, how they're so upset at what's going on.
Well,
there should be transparency.
I think they're upset because they're going to be check. That they're going to be.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Their salaries and how much their wealth is.
What specifically with politicians and them, being able to play the stock market and being able to just make money off the stock market when they're on certain boards that they know what's going to happen. So it's insider trading. Martha Stewart went to jail for it, and these politicians they're just able to do it.
Yeah, I seen an article in the Washington Post where they talk about the millions and millions that we sent to other countries.
I think it's billions.
Oh, it is billions. I mean, just look at the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And,
the president doesn't know where half the money went to. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a good place for those.
I think the lack of transparency that we have is the problem.
Yeah.
I think that's what. I mean, you figure Congress. Anybody, if you're in Congress, if you've been elected to the Congress, your salary is about $200,000 a year.
Yeah, $250,000 a year, and just like the governor of California here, he bought a $9 million home, and on his $250,000 salary, you can't afford a $9 million home.
That's all the side deals.
So I don't know how these politicians on a daily basis are able to do things like this and get away with it when it's pretty blatantly obvious what they're doing and you know it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Twitter X page that follows Nancy Pelosi's stock trades.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you believe that they're in cahoots, the congressmen, with insider trading?
Oh, I think I don't think there's anything like any cahoot. They're not in cahoots with anybody. I think that they're on the boards. They know what's going to happen. I think, and they buy stocks accordingly to what they are going to pass legislation on.
Yeah, that's the problem. But I mean, I think Elon's doing a great job.
I think he's doing a great job. I think all these politicians are scared because he's going to find out that they're doing dirt or whatnot. I find it kind of funny that one kind of side is worried about it and the other side is not so worried about it, and they're all for it.
Let me tell you a little funny story. So, I don't know if you're aware there was 2 astronauts stuck in space.
Oh yeah, I do. I heard about that story.
You heard they're back on Earth?
Yeah, I did. They came back yesterday, I think, right?
And you know who gave them a ride in a SpaceX vehicle?
I think it was a Tesla that picked them up in space right now.
And did you know this offer was made to Biden when he was president?
I think about 5 months ago, maybe, something, 8 months ago.
Elon Musk said, hey, we can get them for you.
Yeah.
He flat out refused.
Yeah.
Not wanted anything to do with them.
Yeah, I saw a video where one of a NASA astronaut actually corroborated that report and said that was the case, that he did offer and Biden turned it down. So, yeah, I mean, I if I was up there in space, I'd pretty much want to come home immediately and not anybody play politics with me being in space. But hey, I mean, you got to start on the corruption somewhere. And you got to root it all out. But I think what I would really like Elon Musk to do is, he did say that he was potentially going to do it, was audit the what is it, where all the gold is, Fort Knox.
Fort Knox.
See if
why not?
See if the gold's there.
Why not? You know, there's never been one photo taken inside Fort Knox.
No, I don't think it's ever been audited before either.
Yeah, you gotta have some special clearance together.
We just need him to. I mean, I love what they're doing. I think that they're doing a great job.
Have you heard of his Wi-Fi? I believe it's called Arrow.
No.
Yeah, so you pretty much is set up anywhere. I actually heard on Joe Rogan's show, he was talking about being up in Montana. Say he had Wi-Fi like he was at home.
Yeah.
And it's a Elon Musk product.
So let me ask you a question. What do you as an American, how do you feel about Elon Musk? Do you think that he's running the country? Do you think Donald Trump's running the country? How do you feel about him and this whole situation?
Well,
do you think that...
I never believed the president's the one actually pulling the strings. I believe in the, what was that, Manchurian candidate?
Yeah, the Manchurian candidate.
I believe that that's what we got going on. If Kamala would have won, the mouthpiece behind her, I think would have been Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it.
I think that's what it was these past 4 years.
And so I think the government needs to do and needs for the people. I personally believe we shouldn't have sent one dime to Ukraine when we have a homeless problem here at home.
Yeah, until you fix your problem at home, you can't be sending other people money.
And, I'm not mad at Trump for what he's trying to make them do, give us their mineral rights and all that. They got to pay some of that money back. It was a loan. It was But yeah, I mean, once you get into these politics, it just goes right to left. And I think we're going to take a break right now.
Hold on, I got something for you guys. Someone on the Instagram live by the name of Ronald Bentley said, Elon Musk is an alien. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, dude, have you heard him talk? I believe he's an alien.
He kind of looks like an alien when you see him, with the light on him.
Yeah. No, but you know what? For example, let's get back to Elon since he brought him up.
And he has one more thing. And the same guy, Ronald Bentley, also said, Elon will be kicked out the White House in 2 years.
Maybe when the job's done that he's doing, there's going to be no need for him.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get in the right direction.
But either way, I can care less because he's not the politician I voted for. So.
Yeah. I basically, and when people say, Elon's not he's not a worker of the government, what's your response to that? He's just there to
well, he got appointed the way everybody else got appointed to their position. RFK, everybody. Trump, months before he was elected, he said who his cabinet was going to be. He put him out there.
He's pretty much kept a lot of promises that he said initially. He's not done by any means yet, but I mean, when you voted for Donald Trump, I know a lot of people, including myself, I voted for Elon Musk as well. I voted for Tulsi Gabbard. I voted for RFK to make our food clean again, and in hopes that by the time they're out of office, that we could see some kind of clean food here in the United States like they do in Europe.
Yeah. How about since we're talking about the Tesla, back to that real quick. Did you hear that California by 2030 wants to be fully electric?
Yeah,
what do you think of that?
I don't think that's feasible. I don't think. I mean, that'd be in 5 years, and there's no way to sustain, that type of electricity and that type of energy in California, where there's 35 million people here. And if everybody had we don't have the grid for that. If everybody had an electric car, it would be ridiculous. And I mean, my personal stories with electric cars, it's just not a good experience for me driving to Palm Springs on an electric car that had a max miles of 230 miles or something like that. We got there, I had to find a place to charge it. It took me an hour and 45 minutes to hit about 85%. Wasn't worth it. I would have just loved to drive up to a gas station, fill up in about 5 minutes, and be out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what your opinion on electric cars are, but that's mine right now. Until we can have something that is sustainable, that we can use, I don't think it's a good idea.
I feel personally, fossil fuel is the way to go still.
Yeah, until we find an alternative way of fuel and efficiency, there's nothing else.
You just talked about going to Palm Springs, those big old windmills.
Yeah.
Those are so horrible for the.
Those are really bad. I mean, do you know how much oil and gas it takes to run those things and make them?
You know how much it takes to repair and maintain one of those?
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
And when those things start going malfunction, they start spinning around and exploding. I mean, that's an environmental hazard as it is right there.
And another thing with the whole electric car thing, I love a good conspiracy. So I read this book, this ebook, where they talked about everybody, there was no more money.
Yeah.
It was a chip in your hand.
Oh, the V chip.
Yeah, the chip in your hand, and everybody had electric cars.
Oh.
So pretty much facial recognition, if you commit a crime, you jaywalk, the they're doing this in China now, as we speak.
With the
facial recognition.
Social credit score.
So they'll recognize you do anything.
Have you heard of the social credit score in China?
What's that?
if you are not a good Chinese citizen and abide by the laws and love the government and say positive things, you get a social credit score that will not allow you to maybe fly out places and do certain things
really?
in your just everyday life. Yeah, yeah. And if you play by the game and play by the rules of China, then you're allowed. Yeah, and your social credit score goes up and down.
Well, that's what the novel was talking about. Is basically, let's say you commit a crime, you rob something, store or whatever. What's going to keep your car from locking the doors and driving you straight to the police station?
Yeah. And I hear stories about like cars that are Bluetooth, operated, and someone could be able to take those over. And I mean, I think I'm being pretty naive to think that hasn't happened
before.
You love
social media,
but
have you seen the Tesla going 140 slamming into the back?
Well, just the whole what's the guy from those Vin Diesel movies? The guy that died in the car crash.
Oh, you know why he died, right?
Yeah, it was,
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. Thank you.
He knew about Diddy.
Thank you, Jay.
He knew Diddy. He knew about Diddy.
Yeah. So
he did.
What?
He was ready to release some manifesto type shit to the media anonymously.
Yeah.
I believe it, bro. Hey, Diddy had a reach.
Yeah, he did.
Just had Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, back to what we were just discussing. There's a video where in China, a Tesla, it locked up at 140 and slammed into the back of a truck, 140. Brakes did not turn on until point of impact.
Self-driving
Self-driving mode.
Oh, it got locked at 140. Wow.
And they were trying to blame. It wasn't a Tesla though, because they have. I think it was a Li or a Li.
It was an electric car.
But apparently, it happened. The malfunction happened from didn't have the current update.
Yeah, when those catch on fire, they burn for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes what, 3 times more water to put those out than a regular car?
You know the metal containers they have at the junkyards for the cars? They put them in there and they burn for days.
Yep. All right. Well, I think this was a good show. I think this was a good first podcast right here, and I appreciate everybody for signing on. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, Remy.
KingShoePheen to everybody, baby.
I
got one more. Ashley_88 said he looks like an alien. She's referring to Elon Musk.
Hey, that's my boy.
He does. I mean, he makes rockets, so I mean that would make sense.
You can make your rocket come back and stand up and just attach itself.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a fucking genius.
It's equivalent to like a 30-story building coming down and being caught by some goalposts, And
did we talk about that?
That's pretty amazing.
The Astros coming back? Yeah, we did.
Oh no, I don't think. Did we? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Okay. SpaceX.
That's
to the rescue.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
And you got
much love.
Ronald Bentley saying, "Great show."
Thanks, big dog.
All right, dog. Thank you.